Here's a weapon you don't see every day. This is a H&K SL8-1 G36K conversion. This gun started its life out as a gray SL8, the first year model from 1999. Then through the years it's been converted. It's had different types of conversions. It started out with the TNSW type conversion, which is the cheapest one. Then it eventually moved its way up with an aluminum stock block HDPS conversion. Finally sent it off to Tommy Built Tactical, and he did the real deal conversion where you cut off the rear end and then plastic weld and steel reinforce on a demilled G36 rear end. So from about here and backward, it's G36 rear end. And almost, I would say, 95% of the other parts of G36. Has a 12.5-inch barrel, so this is registered as an SBR Form 1. It's been remarked. And on these conversions, they have to cut around the original serial number plate because you can't remove that per federal law. And so Tommy pretty intricately cuts around the demilled stub from the G36 receiver and fits it over the serial number. So it's really an art form what he does. Cheapest way to do this is probably start out with an SL8, of course, as the host weapon for the conversion, and also just buy a G36 kit for the type of conversion you want to do. The most rare and expensive kits are the G36C kits. Those usually are, if you can find one, are a little bit below $3,000. The G36K kits, which is what this is based off of, they run you about $1,500 to $2,000, and the longer ones, the E kits or the standard G36 kits, run about the same as the K kits. Although they seem to be a little bit less common, they run about the same price when you do find them. It has a removable flash hider, and this weapon I keep in sort of a traditional G36 configuration. I don't put any rails or anything on it like that. It works just fine like this. It has the standard length G36 collapsible, or folding stock rather, and then the FBI trigger group. The trigger group in this gun is all SL8-1. There's really no reason to put any G36 trigger parts in it. You know, this is a semi-automatic rifle, so you don't need any of those parts. Tommy redoes the engraving to make it more correct for the G36K. This gun is as close as as a civilian can get to a real G36 in semi-automatic. It has a 30-round detachable magazine. Fires the 5.56 or 223. Right now it has the M855 green tip. You see the bolt carry has somewhere in this gun. I probably have 10,000 rounds through this one. Shoot it all the time. It's one of my favorites. It's a light weapon. It's not incredibly expensive to shoot. It's 5.56. See all that wear in the bolt carrier. That wear bothers some people, but it doesn't bother me at all. Just honest wear in a gun that's fun to shoot. Fun to share. People love shooting it. You see it at the range. They ask me what kind of AR it is, what kind of upper. I have no idea that it's an entirely different gun. It doesn't even have an upper or lower. It's just like an AK. It has a receiver, and then all the parts attached to the receiver. It has a 3X single optic. I also have a dual optic, but I'm not a fan of the red dot. I just keep the 3X tube inside, and it also has crude iron sights on the top for very close engagements, or if for whatever reason the tube is failed or obstructed. Tommy also does engraving on this side. So all in all, it's very close to a real G36. In fact, it shares most of the parts. Let me do some closer up too on it. It's original flash hider. First generation style handguard. It's my favorite. There's a newer one that has holes where you can mount Picatinny rails. I'm not a big fan of rails, so I leave those off. I do have another handguard I do keep on hand in case I need a light or something. And those are cheap enough relative to the cost of the entire weapon. A lot of people put the AR style magazine wells on here, and I don't really get that a whole lot. I mean, if you're gonna drop the type of money into one of these, you know, G36 mags, you can buy them in excellent condition for about $30. And if you know, depending on how many you want, that's not too bad. But a lot of people have a lot of AR mags, so they like to have the option to run AR mags in their G36. HK says they don't really recommend it due to the inherent reliability concerns with the AR mags, but not too bad. I know a couple people that run it that way. Say I already have a pile of AR mags. I don't, so these mags are just fine. If you have any questions about this gun or how to obtain one like it, feel free to let me know in the comments. A lot of it already explained. The cheapest way to do it is to find a kit and an SL8 and send it all to Tommy Built Tactical. You know, if you're going to do a 12.5 inch or one of the 9 inch G36C builds, you're going to want an improved Form 1, of course, before you do anything. But the I believe the full length ones are about 20 inch, 18 or 20 inch barrels, so you don't need any forms for those. But yeah, if you have one, I'd love to see it, so please comment and maybe do a video response with yours. And bye bye.